Hi friends, it's Laura Marie. I just made a quick video for you on modeling subtraction of a fraction greater than 1 from a mixed number. We're going to look at two different representations. Our goal for this video is to identify a way we can model this with concrete objects and using a pictorial representation. So when we're using concrete objects, when you already have a common denominator, cubes can be a really great resource for modeling fractions. If I have unifix cubes or any kind of linking cubes that have a flat surface, often you can write on them with a dry erase marker. And you can see here that I took 5 cubes. I labeled each one of them 1/5, and that helps us establish that one whole is made of 5/5. So this stick of cubes is equal to one whole. So once I know that, then I can use my cubes to model the subtraction of 2 3/5 minus 6/5. So because it's subtraction, I start with the total. So I start with 2 wholes. They each have 5 cubes because each cube is 1/5. And then I have 3 extra fifths for the other part of my mixed number. And I need to subtract 6/5. What makes this challenging is students can't subtract those 6/5 from the 3 extra fifths in our mixed number. So a good next step is to take one of the wholes and break that up into individual fifths. This is kind of like in first and second grade or third grade or fourth grade when we talk about decomposing in place value units or regrouping or renaming in subtraction. Here we took one whole and broke it up into 5 separate fifths. So at the top you can see in the annotation that I took 2 3/5 and I renamed it as 1 8/5. Then when I look to do the subtraction, I can take away 5/5. So I took away all of my orange fifths and I need one more fifth because 6/5 is 1/5 more than a whole. So after I take away those 6/5 and put them to the side, I see that I have one whole and 2/5 left. Let's think about what this might look like with a pictorial model. What comes to mind for me, again, thinking about that idea of the foundation in subtraction, is in first grade when students are learning to subtract and they're crossing a 10. So in first grade, I would be using a number path, but we could use a number line and look at how when we start with 13 and we're at 13 on the number line, if we're subtracting 6, 3 takes us back to 10, and then 3 more takes us from 10 to 7. So breaking apart our 6 into smaller units helps us cross over that benchmark number of 10. So let's think about what this might look like for fractions and mixed numbers. First thing you might need to do is help students understand the mixed number on a number line. So one easy way to do that is to highlight on a number line so students can identify each whole and then identify how many units make each whole. So on the top number line, I only have one whole, so from 0 to 1 is all one color. On the second number line, I've highlighted the first whole here, and you can see that one whole is made of 4 equal parts, or fourths, and I could keep highlighting the rest of this. On this bottom number line, I've highlighted all 3 wholes in different colors. If you don't want multiple colors, you could just use 2 and they can alternate. And then again, I can see from 0 to 1 is made of 5 units, from 1 to 2 is made of 5 units, and from 2 to 3 is made of 5 units. So my units on this number line are fifths. So once they understand the number line, we can start to use this model to model subtraction. So first, I have my number line, and I'm going to model 2 wholes and 3/5. And you can see that I've marked that out. Students might be able to do it with just a plotted point on the number line, or they can show the whole quantity across the top. I need to take away 6/5. So when I look at this thinking, just like that first grade thinking, I take 3/5 to get from 2 3/5 back to just 2. And then from 2, I take away 3 more fifths, which takes me back to 7/5, or 1 2/5. As long as students understand how to use a number line, this may be less confusing than trying to decompose a whole and renaming it with one whole and then fifths. But the number line understanding is key. So in summary, if your students need the concrete objects and you feel like this is going to be the best way for them to access, feel free to try this out with cubes. But another great way to represent this thinking without having to decompose a whole, but just thinking about counting back and crossing over the whole, is using a number line. For more videos and resources, feel free to visit the website at pimaedu.com.